The aim of this recording is to illustrate how Rhizomer can be used in a production environment. The starting point is to deploy Rhizomer together with Fuseki. So we have an RDF store to store the data that we want to explore with Rhizomer. In this case, in a production setting, the important thing is that we make use of Jena full text search features, so we can provide a better user experience when doing a full text search across the dataset. We can use the recommended repository, in this case this version of Fuseki, because its configuration already provides a preconfigured dataset that enables Lucene as the way to index text in the dataset. The added value of Rhizomer in this case is that it makes use of these indexes when making these kind of searches. So after following the instructions and deploying Rhizomer, the backend and the frontend, together with the Fuseki RDF store, we can then access through the provided user interface Fuseki and load the data we want to be explored. In this case, we have already done so, and we have two data sets. One with information about researchers in the University of Lleida University. In this case, it's basically information that we want to use through Rhizomer in order to identify experts in different topics. And we have also added the ontologies used in this dataset, so we can use the labels for classes and properties instead of the URIs as much as possible. Once we have the data available from Rhizomer, we can then create a new dataset inside through Rhizomer frontend. In this case, the dataset will be called experts. We will keep it private, okay, and we will use the detailed kind of query or kind of exploration, so we get a more detailed overview of the dataset and also a more detailed faceted view of the information. This is the recommended approach unless we are exploring a really big dataset. In that case, the recommendation is to use the optimized version. After configuring the new dataset, we need to define the endpoint where we are going to be getting the data from. This should be an SPARQL endpoint. In this case, the options that we have, if we want to enable this full text search, we will pick the option Fuseki+Lucene. We will point to the local endpoint that we have started, the Fuseki, the local deployment. We can keep the rest of the configuration as it is. We don't need, in this case it's an open dataset for consultation. We don't need a read password and it's not readable. We are not interested in that part. And after that we can just submit. So the endpoint is explored. We can then pick which is the graph in the SPARQL endpoint that we want to use as the data source, also as the data for the instance data that we want for the ontology. And then after that we can submit. Okay, now it's configured. We can start the exploration of the dataset. First set of queries will be used to analyze all the classes in the dataset, the main classes, how they are related through properties among them, so we can generate a network overview of the main classes and how they are related among them in the dataset that we are inspecting. This will be the process of configuring the endpoint, and this is done with the version, the generic version of Rhizomer. But we will see now the version that is in production that has been customized, so it has a different styling. Okay, so this is the overview for the whole data set. We will switch now to the version that is actually deployed in production, that is this one. As you can see, it's the same tool but with different styling. And the important thing here is that thanks to the use of Lucene together with Fuseki, we can now perform text queries across the whole data set. And thanks to the Lucene index, they are really fast compared to using just Fuseki for that. So in this case, for instance, we are using this application. That the idea of UDL's experts is to use it as a experts search tool, so we can identify in the context of the university who is working around a specific topic. It's very important to have this feature of text search. And right now, as you can see, we can satisfy this functionality really quickly. We can just reproduce here after searching for this specific text. We are getting all instances in the dataset that are related with this topic. In this case, it's just 4 different academic articles. We can change here the kind of topics that we are interested in. Here in this case, you can see that there are more instances and from different classes. We have 10 different people that is performing a role in a research group that is related to this topic. We have 6 chapters, 1 academic article, 1 concept. Okay, we have some of these instances, 21 instances that have been found are listed here, 9 out of 21. And if we are interested or want to focus on one of these specifics classes, for instance, we want to see all the chapters related with blockchain, we can just click and then we switch to the faceted view for chapter. But in this case, with the added restriction that the instances of chapter, we want them to be related with the text string blockchain. Now we have the results. In this case, we can continue exploring through the facets, these 6 instances that satisfy that restriction about being related with that specific piece of text. We can, for instance, now explore these based on the date. They are the date of the different chapters. So we can see that the different years, for each year, there are 2 chapters for these different years. And that's first the glance of the possibilities of Rhizomer when deployed in addition with Fuseki and Lucene, featuring these full text search capabilities. Thank you very much for watching.